With this year's team, I'm probably most excited about the newness of the team. So it's like a new jigsaw puzzle, crossword puzzle for me to figure out, with the coaching staff. Obviously, we got a lot of transfers and a lot of new pieces with 8 new players. And that presents a lot of equations to figure out. How do you make it all work and come out with a finished product that can be a good team and obviously win a lot of games. So, I think this goes back to anybody who's older that's watching this. It's not Stratomatic baseball, right? So it's not played on paper. So we've got to figure out as a group, how do we become a cohesive unit? And that's all out on the coaching staff. How do we get guys learn who they are and how they can be productive, and then learn what we need to do from a lineup standpoint. Well, that's a lot, with us. We're going to have so many different lineups. We're a deep team, a lot of combinations. So, how do you coach a group like that in the best way possible to have success? So I'm excited about that, but it's also, the biggest equation that we got to solve is the newness of it. But that's what makes it so exciting. And we got to get our job done. And it's probably going to be an ongoing process the whole season. Well, experience in sports is hugely important. And you hear coaches and managers talk about it all the time. But why? Okay, well, theoretically, experienced players play smart. And they don't succumb to pressure because they've been there before. So they're a lot cooler, calmer, and collected under pressure situations. But that's in theory. Sometimes young players are really smart. Sometimes you can get some guys that have played a lot of minutes, but they don't play very smart. So what I've learned, we got so many new guys that each one of them has areas, although they have experience, especially our transfers, that they have got to learn how we do things. And so that's a big difference between having game experience, which will help them, but they also don't have experience playing in our style, playing for our coaching staff, and playing at UCLA and the things that we do and the things that we believe in. So experience is extremely important, but only when it's a positive factor. Yeah, times have changed a lot with summer workouts, starting earlier, you can start real practice in September. Biggest takeaways are, for me, is you got a whole new team, and it is a completely different roster that we have this season. Now, how fast can we come together and how quickly and how well can we gel into a winning group that can go get W's on the basketball court. But, when you get out there and you're just like, there's 8 guys out there. That's a lot of guys. 8 guys in our sport is 60% of our players or more, especially when you got 6 transfers that mostly averaged double figures somewhere else last year. Okay, but did they win where they were? Did they know how to win? And what do we need to teach them? So that's really been what the offseason's been about. Trying to figure out all our players and the things that we need to do to help them become winners and get winning players. And secondly, how do I put them all together, right? As a coaching staff, how do we mix it all up and come out, with something that looks like a really good team once we take the floor? So a lot of work to do. This is the new era. When they start talking about the new era, when you get out there as a coach and you're going to have 4 or 5 guys out there on the floor that didn't play for you last year, played somewhere else and were taught different things, or other things were not emphasized, or they maybe didn't have to play with the discipline that we believe in or with the toughness that we believe in. So it's a lot of work to be done, but at least we have some ingredients to work with I'm excited about. Well, depth is obviously on paper for us a huge weapon, but that's on paper, so we'll see. I do believe, with our plethora of guards, that we're going to be able to pick up full court. You can't pick up full court if you're going to play your starting point guard 35 minutes, which has really been the case here for me for 5 seasons that we've been here. It's really hard to do. So with multiple guys that handle the ball on this team and multiple guys that can play guard, both guard positions for us, playing full court defense is a reality of who we are going to be. How good can we get at it? What are we best at over time as we evolve? Learning how to change up our different pressures and being able to do it with discipline. And being able to wear your opponents down is definitely something that we need to make a strength of this team. And we've worked on it all offseason. Well, Dylan obviously had a huge opportunity last year to play 35 minutes a game, where he had to learn on the job. And, he got a lot of experience. And I think what happened, what you saw late in the year, now his body was able to play more minutes. His mind was able to slow down, make better decisions, and he got better. Now the challenge is, to do it on a winning team because, although we were 8-4 in our last 12 games, it's a different animal to be a really good player on the top 20 team and somebody that can help lead his team to wins over ranked opponents, over other teams competing for league championships. And it's just a matter of more consistency, and that's a step that Dylan needs to take this year. Well, Sebastian obviously got to the foul line a lot for us last year, and he struggled late in the year when teams adjusted, and he didn't quite adjust to the way he was being played. I think he's grown a lot. He's seen a lot of film. We've talked a lot about how he can use his strengths, which is beating his man, getting the ball in the paint, as an advantage. And you have to read defenses better, and you got to look to pass when people crowd you. And he's just grown a lot. And so one thing about Sebastian, he's competitive. And he understands on this team there's a lot of competition for playing time. So he's really tried to improve in the areas that we've asked him to improve on in the offseason. And the biggest piece of that is defensively. As a freshman, it's hard to be out there. As soon as you get tired, you break down. You get beat, you don't block out. It's just, it was a big challenge for him last year, being put in a role that he probably wasn't ready for, nor are any freshmen ready for. But again, he got to learn from that. And you got to grow, though. And that's my challenge. You got to grow. You can't be the same guy. Well, Kobe Johnson and Skyy Clark bring 5 years of really college basketball, and they probably both started for 4 years. We did not have that, so we get back to experience and how much that should matter. That you know how to win games. You can make smart plays. You can be solid on defense. Learn how to get your teammates or yourself open for good shots. These are all things that you've learned. How hard it is also, how hard you have to play, how hard you have to compete. Impart to your teammates on the importance of detail and paying attention. Still trying to get those guys to be more vocal. Because they're in their first year, I know they're timid in doing it, but I've tried to talk a lot about that the old days are over, that you can't look at yourself as an outsider, that we're all new. This is the first time we've all been together. It's more of a pro environment with this free agency and the portal, and that they've got to come in taking on a leadership role and shoulder the load for guys and help give me an example, be an example for me as a coach of somebody here. This guy doesn't make mistakes. He pays attention nonstop. He's a veteran player. He gets the job done right every time. And you got to bring people towards your side of thinking, especially your younger teammates. Well, Lazar's like Coca-Cola. Although I don't drink Coca-Cola, Lazar's like Coke. He gets the same thing every time. Great effort, team guy. All he cares about is winning. We all know he can put the ball in the basket. I think he's worked hard on his strength and his conditioning and his footwork with Dave Andrews in the offseason on trying to be a better defender. But with Lazar, it's all about helping the team win. I mean, you could not have a better teammate than Lazar. Well, Trent Perry and Eric Freeny are what we value here at UCLA. Local talent that wants to win and wants to be a part of the UCLA tradition. Eric Freeny, he's tough as nails. Turned 18 this summer, so he's 18 his whole senior year, which is obviously highly unusual in this era where high school kids get redshirted, let alone college players. But great kid, great toughness, going to have a great career. He was brought in to be here a long time and to eventually be captain of our team someday. Trent Perry, McDonald's All-American, 6'4", can shoot it. He's got great vision, super talent. He's got a pro career someday, but he's a freshman. So I try to temper expectations with freshmen that were rated so high because the media overdoes it with them. But because of college basketball, you're 18 playing against 22-year-olds, which is what's going to happen for Trent every day in practice, every game we play. But I love his talent, and Trent's a great kid with a tremendous attitude. I'd love to be able to purchase stock in his future. Well, look, Dominick Harris is a sharpshooter. That's what it is. Dom can really shoot the basketball. So when he gets in the game for us, our guys already know that you're looking for him because he can hit 3 threes and change the game really, really fast. The other thing I like about Dom is he's competitive. He likes to rebound. He likes to defend. Sometimes shooters can't do those other things. Dom likes to mix it. He likes to mix it up a lot. A lot of big learning curve for Dom coming from the WCC to the Big Ten level of the physicality of everything, I think. But he definitely gives us a weapon. You see a guy that can really make shots and get hot the way he can and change the game. Well, look, Devin Williams, he's still got to get a lot stronger. I think he's starting to practice and work at the way he needs to eventually be able to help us. Now, Aday has gained 25 to, I think right now it's around 28 pounds of muscle. And he has had a 3-month run here in the offseason of really putting on his strength. And he's really turned the corner emotionally from a young kid to somebody that's becoming a young adult. I don't want to say a grown man because he's far from that. But he's becoming a young adult, and his work ethic, his attitude, his approach to the game, and he's getting stronger. And that's a big key because he's got to be able to hold his ground. That makes his skill, which is so high, his skill level is so high, but it's a non-factor if he can't hold his ground on both ends. You got to be able to help us protect the rim and rebound, but you got to be able to hold your ground so your skill level on offense, which is such a weapon of his, is a factor. So I really, really excited to get Aday back out on the court. He's been out. He was out July, August, September, and much of October, rehabbing a foot injury that we've just taken our time with. But getting him back out there and getting ready to go is going to be really big because he's going to have to be a factor for us. Well, look, Tyler Bilodeau's a scorer. We played against him obviously for a couple of years. He can shoot the ball from anywhere on the floor, 3-point line, mid-range, turnaround shots in the post. He's just a very comfortable and adroit, effective scorer from all levels, and we need that. So the challenge for Tyler is he's in a different style defensively, being asked to move his feet a lot more on a defensive end. So he's growing with that, and that's part of why he came here. He knows he needs that for his career. But again, great attitude, tough kid. Obviously adjusting to our DNA of defense and toughness is paramount at all times. But he can put the ball in the basket. And, look, William Kyle's already got the Bruin mentality. He was Defensive Player of the Year in the Summit League. He wants to be Defensive Player of the Year. He wants to block shots. He wants to rebound. He wants to be a guy on defense that covers for everybody and gets the job done at all times. So just teaching him how we do things has been the adjustment for him. And playing against bigger, stronger people on a consistent basis for William is going to be an adjustment. But he's doing a great job. His attitude is tremendous, and we can't tell you how thankful we are to have him. So Eric Dailey Jr. is a guy we can move all over the floor. He played some 5 at Oklahoma State, but I don't really want to have to do that with him unless, we need to be really small, because he's really got an eclectic skill set. Eric can shoot the 3, but he's also a great rebounder, and he's a tough customer, and which I believe in. So, being able to knock down the open shot on this team, I think, he's going to be in a position where he and then Brandon Williams, those kind of guys, are going to be left open. And being able to knock down the shot when you're playing with quickness, guards that can really create and pass, being able to make that open shot and being a highly effective defender. My goal for Eric is to be as good a defender in the country as there is on the wing. That gets him to the NBA someday. And really buying into that role. That's what it's going to be all about for his career. But he can really shoot the ball when he's open, and he's got a great work ethic. And we all know, look, Brandon Williams is young, and he went through it last year, had to play when he should have been redshirting. But he knows that UCLA is about toughness, competitive spirit, heart, and his voice is important in our practice. He's really worked hard on changing his body. He's really worked hard on shooting the basketball. And he's a big part of our future. But Brandon Williams, obviously, been more of a battle for playing time this year than last year. Yeah, I would say, look, the message for our fans is, we're going to have to grow as a team, so hopefully you can enjoy it with us. I do think that, my experience tells me this. Team fans like when you press. Fans like an up-tempo style. So we have to be an aggressive team. We do have speed and quickness at the guard position. So I know our fans are going to love to see that. But we're also trying to become a cohesive unit. So we're a team that's going to have to get better over time. And I think we tried to make our schedule that way from November to December and grow because, look, we got a lot of new ingredients and new pieces on this team. Not only are they trying to learn a new style, a new system, but they've never played with each other either. So it's going to be a growth spurt for us. So look, I've been asked 1 million times about the shift to the Big Ten. It's unfortunate for UCLA fans, for all of the past Bruin greats that played here. It's truly a tragedy for them to see us switch conferences, and they hung all those Pac-12 banners, and we got the best Pac-12 players that have ever played, the best ones, from the leading scorer Don McClain to the best one, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, and so many other greats. So it's sad, but okay, what's it like going into the Big Ten? Well, I don't know. We haven't done it yet. So now that we got a schedule, then we can figure out our travel, start to plan our rest, start to plan our recovery, and try to get through this as best we can. But it's going to be a huge adjustment. Biggest concern, if you were to say to me, longer road trips, more missed school, and just away from home longer for young people is an issue. And statistically, we've studied that. So you're better off playing Thursday, Saturday than you are Thursday, Sunday, and that's from Pac-12 studies. So now we are going to play Tuesday, Friday, not Tuesday, Thursday. We're going to play Friday, Monday, not Friday, Sunday. You're on the road an extra day. That's aside from distance of travel. I'm more concerned with, because my time as a coach, being on the road an extra day now. Coach Musselman and I and Coach Altman, we lobbied the Big Ten for 1 day off in between when we travel. We did not win that argument. Maybe we will in the future. Having these guys away from home, the longer you got them away from home, they tend to drift a little bit. They tend to lose focus a little bit. It's really hard in that second game. So that's my always honest answer about it. And then you get to March, and hopefully you have a good team. You don't want to be worn out. So when you ask about the travel, I'm not concerned with in-season travel as much as I am on the cumulative effect of travel, because you got to go back and play in the Big Ten tournament in April or in March. And then where do you go for the NCAA tournament? You fly home, and then maybe you got to fly back east. That's a big question for a lot of teams in our conference, that, you know, all four of us, I should say, on the West Coast. So we'll tackle it as we go, and obviously try to improve and learn as we go, going through this new journey into the Big Ten. But you have to embrace it and study all angles of trying to give your team the best chance you can to be successful, and also to make sure you got something in the tank for March.